Hello, everybody. We are live.
Hello.
Great. Thanks for coming. Hello, I am Sasha. We are talking about From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which is going to be interesting to say the least. So, yeah, I will say that I quite enjoyed this book. I guess we can go around and kind of give our ratings, maybe. So I will. Okay, I'm gonna preface this by saying, like, I know this isn't like a good book. Like, I'm very aware that the writing and the everything needs work. However,
as long as you're aware.
I read this with one of my best friends in real life. Like, we were buddy reading it together, and it made it so much fun. So I ended up really loving it, but I just want to preface, I know there are flaws. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And that is that.
And that's the that on that. No questions. No further questions at this time. I'm Rachel from the channel Let Me in the Library, and I finished the book today. I mean, it's low. It is low. It's a low rating, but I don't think I'm in Daryan territory. For once, I actually think I'm giving this book a slightly higher rating than Daryan. This is very like Wicked Fox of me, but I think maybe it's more like 2-ish star or something. I mean, again, like there's definitely flaws. It's harder for me to overlook certain things. I listened to this book mostly on 4x speed. So I was trying to get through it as fast as possible to make it through this live show, but also because some of the events in the book. But that's all I'll say for now before we get into it.
Okay.
Hi. I'm Daryan from Daryan Reads, and I gave this book 1 star. It is the worst book I've ever read in my life.
Oh my god.
Why didn't you give it 0 stars?
I would if I could. Believe me. I would give it negative 100 stars.
Oh my god.
Miss Lisa.
Hello.
The world debut of your rating.
Yeah, hello. I'm Lisa from the channel with Love Lisa. I also gave it 1 star.
Yay.
Yay.
We're here. It's happening. That's great.
Sasha is like rethinking everything about having this show today.
No, like I knew my rating was going to be higher because I had so much fun with like my best friend reading it. Like I knew it was going to be higher, but then I didn't expect everybody else's to be so much lower. And we have another one. Hold on here.
True.
Sasha's like best day ever. Yeah.
It was so much fun. Hold on.
No, but I get that. Like sometimes the experience reading a book can make you enjoy it more. So I totally get that.
Yeah, and like my friend and I, we read ACOTAR together as well, like the entire ACOTAR series, and then we read this together. So it was just like we were just on this like fairy romance jazz, and it was just like a lot. But yeah, so I guess I'll go briefly with what it's about. It is about it's about a lot of things. It's about a young girl who was chosen from birth, or not birth, I guess, from childhood to be a maiden, which essentially is just somebody who cannot have any amount of fun, I guess. And she obviously does start to reject that role for herself, and she meets a man, shocker,
a man.
who is one of her guards, and she starts to toy with the idea of maybe the maiden isn't something I want to be, because he is just so powerfully sexy that she cannot resist. And that is what it's about. And then it's
That's the
600
whole plot.
pages of that. And
Basically.
figuring out a lot of things about the kingdom and that. So that's pretty much. It gets a lot more detailed in the second and third books, which I did read. And
how does the rest of the series compare to the first book? Was it like a progressively like better and better and better, or
no.
So like significantly worse, and then like a garbage can I want to crawl into and die.
No, it wasn't. I wouldn't say it's that. I think my From Blood and Ashes 4.5. I think the second one, Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, was either 4 or 4.5. It just definitely wasn't better. And then the third one was 3.5, and I was like, this is long, and I'm done with this right now. So yeah, it didn't get better. So I wouldn't.
So Daryan, don't read it.
I wouldn't actively seek out reading this again.
How did it get worse? I don't know.
Daryan.
The third book had like no plot. Like
Did this have a plot?
Well, okay. No, but like there was like there was nothing.
Oh,
There was like no. So it wasn't like great, but yeah, it's fine. We did it. But yeah, it does get a little bit more detailed into like about the maiden and all this stuff. So trying to give a summary for the first book without revealing parts of the next book were a little hard there, but I feel like it's fine. I did it.
You did it. All the information we're given.
Isn't there like a fourth or like a novella or something?
Yeah, so it's certainly not a novella. It's another.
Okay.
It's another 600 pages.
It's actually longer than all of them put together.
It actually might be. Not longer than all of them put together, but it's definitely over 600 pages. And it is a 3.5, although it's technically considered a new series, but it gives you some background on the maiden itself and some history about the kingdom. And I was 10% into it, and I was like, I can't do this right now. I have to stop and go read something else because my brain just could not handle another 600-page fantasy romance. It was just not, it wasn't going. But yeah, it's definitely not a novella. I had high hopes, and I was let down when I looked at the page count significantly, but it's fine. I didn't finish it. I plan on reading it at some point because I did enjoy it. I know it's craziness, but I did like it, so I will read it at some point, but it's too much to read all at once. Like way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
So I guess we can kind of like just start with like, how did you guys feel about the world building?
What world building?
You can't do every single thing. It's just no.
First of all, no world building. There was okay. This is what JLA did. She was like, I'm gonna say so many words. I'm gonna put so many words, and it doesn't mean anything. We don't know what it means. Nothing. No explanation. Here's just a bunch of words. I know all these words. Look at all the words I know.
I feel like she did like explain a lot of things, but none of the things that were like bigger relevant things to the story. So it's like, okay, I understand all of this, but this doesn't mean anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I guess.
She was like the princess of this land, and everyone knew about her. And I was like, I don't know what any of this is.
I don't know what she is.
I don't know what you're saying to me.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Fair enough. The Dutch and Duchess versus the King and Queen. Was that a little? Yeah. No. I didn't know the difference honestly until like book 3. So that was definitely
too long. Too far away.
Yeah.
That's a great sign.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I do think she had a little bit of world building, but I was more in it for the characters because I liked the characters. I know.
Literally control your facial expressions.
Literally gross. I know. Like, who am I? But was in it for the characters. If there are strong characters for me, I can overlook pretty much everything else. And plus, like 3 a.m. chats about Hawk and his honeydew was really
The honeydew.
interesting with my friends. So yeah.
No.
But that's fair. If you like the characters,
Yeah.
it was very like nothing was really happening for like the first half. It was just very much like character based, and then even the second half. So I guess if you liked them, that makes sense. And I'm kind of the same way. It's like if I like characters, I don't really care what's going on.
Pretty much, yeah. No, but I definitely see there wasn't like a whole lot of world building. But while I was reading it, I was like, oh my god, like this world is so intricate and detailed. Like JLA did that. Like she did something. And then I stopped reading it and I was done. And I was like, did she? Did she do that something that I thought she did? I don't know, but it's okay. What did you think, Rachel?
Yeah.
It sure was a book.
That's it.
You're right.
And we're done. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. It's been a really fun time.
It was a book.
It was a book. I agree.
And I read it.
Yep.
I mean, listen, from the beginning, I kind of knew, like, okay, I know what the reputation of From Blood and Ashes, so it's not like I was going in with the expectation of, like, this book's going to change my life and be my favorite book. And I think, like, even for the people who really enjoy it, you enjoy it knowing what it is. And I think if you set your expectations wrong, like, you're definitely not going to really have the best time. But I guess I also didn't think it was going to be as much of a, like, self-insert fan fiction type of writing as it was. Because for me, like, the plot, fine. The magic fantasy stuff, fine. For me, the thing that I don't enjoy, and I find this so interesting because I saw a lot of people reviewing this and saying, like, I love Poppy, she's so strong, she's so cool, was it just, she didn't believe in herself enough for me. And I'm all about, like, that strong individual. Listen, Daryan, all right, come on, control yourself.
Daryan, control yourself.
No,
Okay.
Hello?
no.
Hello.
Rachel.
See, my live show was like, no slander. Goodbye.
All right. Rachel will figure herself out.
I don't know. I mean, like, hello?
Hello. Oh my god, are you back?
Okay. Hello. Sorry, this happened again last night where everything froze, and I was like, I'll just keep talking. I can't tell if anybody can hear me.
Okay, say it again.
Okay. You're like, rest it again. Say it again.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, it's like, it's fine. It is what it is. But I think, like, when I've enjoyed fan fiction in the past, it's because there's, like, something that I'm already attached to. Like, oh, I really like these characters and I want to see them, like, do something. And it's harder for me to get immersed if it's, like, you know, like, you can't really publish stuff like that. So it's, like, kind of like a recast in some way. I don't know if this is actually a fan fiction or not, but, like, there's not a character that I know where I'm like, ooh, I want to know more about their life or whatever. So when it's like that, and then also, like, the main character is just like, I don't think I'm sexy and beautiful. And then, like, the other person's just like, but you are sexy and beautiful and you taste like a honeydew. Then you're just like, okay, how much longer is this going to last? And the answer was 622 pages. So that was just, for me, like, it was very distracting to get to the rest of it. Like, even the hot steamy stuff, I was like, okay, all right, hot steamy. But then halfway through, he'd be like, no, you are beautiful. And I was like, shut the fuck up and fuck her. What are you doing?
He
Stop.
did way too much during those moments. Like,
He was
absolutely.
trying to be Rhysand, and I was like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to be Rhysand.
That was
Seriously.
so hard for me. It was so hard for me to not compare Hawk and Rhysand because I had just
Because they're
finished.
the same person.
They're the
Because
same
they're
person. I literally had just finished, and then I was like, Hawk, Rhys, who, what? I was like, I don't know. I should have read them at different times because my brain kept picturing, like, Rhys, and then I was like, no, Rhys wouldn't do that. But I think that's why I liked Hawk, because I was like, Rhys would do that, and it was a mess. I was a mess. It's fine.
I mean, like, I enjoy, like, trope wise, like the princess and the bodyguard type of trope is like fine. Like I love that. That's great. Like any of those sort of like bantery type of relationships where it's like, okay, like they're forced proximity because he has to protect her, but like do they like each other? And there's that like sexual tension of like, will they, won't they? They obviously will, but in like chapter 40, like not yet, because it's gonna be a slow burn of whatever. And that was fine. It's just that I think maybe it was narration or something, but they gave him this like weird British accent, and it made a lot of his banter very strange.
No, why did that?
Yeah.
The audiobook was awful.
Yeah.
The narrator had such a bad British accent for Hawk, and I was like, for why? For why?
It was very bad. It was it's like
God.
if you popped out of the womb and someone was like, "Can you do a British accent right now?" Like you have no experience. You got no experience doing this type of accent. And you just pop into here doing this whole audiobook. And like including during the sex scenes where it's like, Poppy, no, yeah, like stop. It's like you're strong. Oh, I still love your honeydew scent. I can't think of anything except for fucking honeydew. Actually,
He's like, oh, a honeydew, and I was like, what the?
Honey, do not say that to me, please. Don't do this.
So true.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, it definitely was.
So
Jess says, how dare you insult fan fiction? Reading fanfics would have entertained me more.
No, exactly. That's my point.
I get it. I am the only one here. I think actually, no, Emily said hello. I liked it. It took me a while to get into it though. And that's fair.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing. Is like it's fan fiction-y to be like they met at this like brothel and kissed, and he was like, I don't care who you are, I'll still like make out with you. And she's like, what? I'm the maiden. No one's supposed to touch me. I'm not allowed to have fun or kiss anybody.
It also started like
and that
was in, which was
it was like immediately she was just like in a brothel.
Like they were in a brothel. I thought we were gonna take a while to get even like a kiss. But then it started, and I texted my friend. I was like, "Girl," I was like, "Girl, they started." Like
chapter 1, page 2, lips on lips, like
it was intense.
It was happening, but I mean, like that's fine because that's what it is. Like that's what I was expecting. Where I was like, it's fine. See, and like literally for me, it would have been better if the audiobook didn't do that British thing with him. Because every time like an audiobook narrator puts on a bad accent, like. It's fine if you do accents, but I feel like if you can't deliver, just don't do it. Okay?
There was no reason. There was no reason.
Like that's for sure a way to like take someone out of the story.
Yeah, like it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno's. Please keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear it. It's enough. Number 1. Number 2, it's the whole like I can do everything thing of like I'm untouchable and I'm beautiful. But also I have these scars that make me ugly. Except everybody thinks I'm a beautiful anyway, and like a perfect figure, perfect everything, like I'm so wonderful. Also, I'm a badass and I can kick people and assassinate them, and also I have magic powers. And I was like, okay, you gotta pick one. You can't do this.
But why can't you do everything?
Get you triple threat. Get you a girl who can do literally everything.
Get you a girl who can do literally everything or nothing at all. Like there's no in between.
What can she do? Yes.
What were you gonna say, Daryan?
You forgot that she's the dumbest person alive.
So true.
Thank you.
I disagree.
Can we get into spoilers, or are we not allowed to do that yet?
Let's go for spoilers. Let's do it.
Everything was awful.
Spoiler alert, don't read it, I guess.
Okay, like Poppy being dumb.
Yeah.
When like the kind of reveal that Hawk was the dark one or whatever his name is. And the Kieran was like calling him his name.
Oh yeah.
Like, why is she calling him that? Like, how is like that's not him? Hawk's like, girly, do the math.
And then like 10 minutes later, she's like, wait a minute.
No.
Are you the same person?
Listen, she was in shock. So, like, we have to give her a little bit of credit. Like, if you thought somebody was somebody else and then someone was calling them their name, you'd be like, hold on.
I will give her no such thing.
If 2 + 2 is 4, like, you would not know.
I did feel bad for her for like a brief period of time when all of that happened, when that got the reveal, and she's like, wow,
A
this guy
brief
that I
period
like
of
is kind of the cause of all my problems. Like,
Yeah.
I did feel bad. But like she was making dumb decisions the whole book, so then it was just like, okay.
But like where? Like where was she so dumb that I just why do I not remember?
Okay, how? First of all, how? And I know she was like blinded by love or whatever, but how could anyone not figure out that Hawk was actually the dark one when literally like they have their moment in the woods or whatever it is, and she's like, oh yeah, the Duke, like he takes advantage of me, he beats me up, whatever. And then literally 10 minutes later, the Duke is dead. He's dead.
Who could
have done that?
She didn't think that because he was with her, so she was like, there's no way he could have done that.
He was just like, I gotta go, I have something to do. Like he literally was like, oh,
yeah, but did he have that? Did he have enough time to go stab someone to death and then hang them up?
Yes, because he was there.
Like, did he have enough time?
Disappeared. And then they met up.
He was gone, and he was like, "Oh, I wish I would have been there, but I had something to do." And she's like, "Well, I guess that checks out." And I was like,
"Okay, but like, I feel like that takes so much time. I feel like was it him that did it? I thought it was his like group.
No, it was him.
Okay, well that's a little stupid because that would take time to do.
Well, that just goes back to
it's like any murder mystery. It's like, but I had an alibi,
okay.
and it's like, well, your alibi was you were killing the guy at the time. That's the thing.
Yeah.
No, but like, okay.
I mean, look. To be fair, it's not like I knew what he was doing because he was just like, oh, I'm mad that like you have all these scars and stuff because this person hurt you or whatever. And I was like, okay, this will come back later. And then like also, I will say also, sorry to come back to this, but the chapters end extremely abruptly. So I would be like, okay, I figure we're gonna continue the conversation, and then it would be like chapter 37.
Yeah.
And then it would just start the next thing.
I was like, okay.
And then it was just like, oh man, I don't like blah, blah, blah. And they would just walk into the throne room, and then the Duke is just like sitting there with like a stake through his head, like hanging from the wall. It was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what is going on?
No, I think that's fine. Because
it was just so brutal where I was like,
it was, but I love brutality in books when it's like gory and like I love that so much.
I love that everybody like at every opportunity was like, from blood and ash we rise, yeah, and I was like, that's the title of the book.
Least annoying. Are
no,
you?
She is the least annoying. Okay, Daryan.
He's just not
Daryan, you need to read ACOTAR. Have you read ACOTAR?
I read the first book.
And you didn't find Feyre more annoying than her?
No, Feyre
was my god, the way that's untrue.
Fine. She's annoying, but she's fine. Poppy, I never want to hear another thought from her freaking head ever again.
So sheltered though. She was so sheltered. How can you not be so like? How can you not be like a little dumb when you've been so sheltered from like love and romance and relationships?
Okay, yes, Lisa.
Go ahead.
Okay, I understand she was sheltered, okay, but I don't need to hear every little detail of every single thought she ever has and hear the stupidity in extreme detail, because literally there was a point, I can't remember where she was, but she was like locked in a room or something, and literally her thoughts were just like, oh my god, the door just closed. I was locked in this room. Wait, did I just hear a noise? No, it was fine. Okay, over there. And I was like,
no, but that stems back to JLA writing it in a way that just like did not need to be written. Like she could have easily eliminated like half that book because half of it was just Poppy's thoughts.
You could have just deleted the whole thing.
And also, I don't know why I'm going in on Feyre. I really like Feyre, so I don't know why I'm going in. I'm getting very heated.
I also like Feyre more than Poppy, but I don't think Poppy was like the worst.
I think as it goes on,
Yes.
Poppy gets, I think Farrah gets better than Poppy as the series go on.
I've only read the first of each,
Yeah.
so that's all I can.
And in the first book, I find Poppy better than Farrah. But it's fine. We're not talking about ACOTAR. It's like not a big deal.
Yes, Lisa.
Yes, Lisa?
Yes.
I don't find Poppy annoying. I just thought that she made a lot of silly decisions
Choices.
that were frustrating to read. Like one at the kind of the beginning when I don't even know what they are, the vampires or I don't know what they
The
were.
vampires.
I thought they were werewolves at the beginning. They were like they have the sickness
wolven,
and they have to be put
I don't
down.
know.
There are Wolven. There's Wolven and vampires.
When is that coming back? Because that never happened again.
It comes
Yes,
back
Lisa?
a lot in like the second book.
Yes,
I feel like I have to raise my hand because we all have so much to say. But the part where they like start climbing over the castle wall or whatever, and her like maid lady Tawny, which is quite the name, she was like, no, you shouldn't go because of this reason, this, like giving her valid points, and she's like, you're right, but I'm gonna go anyway. It's like, no, bestie, stay safe.
Like, anyways. Oh my God.
She's a classic new adult. Like when your bestie is like, listen, this is a bad idea. I know you want to go get like whatever, but like, come on, like it's late. You had 5 shots and nothing to eat all day. Why are you leaving? You're literally wearing heels. You're gonna fall out of those in 5 minutes. And it's like, but I want to go anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go. Or it's like, all right, at least it's realistic. At least it's kind of realistic.
No, and I think, I mean, it definitely stemmed from the fact that she felt like she couldn't do anything else because she was always hidden behind this veil. And so she was like anytime she got the chance to do something, she absolutely just jumped at it without really thinking of repercussions or considering the repercussions. But it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, I don't know if it's like I didn't this would be you to me. It's true. I mean, like, don't do this. You didn't do this. You didn't. She's like, I really want to go though. They have peach bellinis, and I think it'd be really fun.
Listen, but that's alcohol like valid. I would do that.
That's like, going. Exactly.
Dangerous people out there though. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, like, if I just didn't process the monologues of like, now the door is closed. Now, did I hear something? Like, I didn't really pay attention to any of that stuff. For me, it was mostly just the annoyance of like, have some confidence in yourself. And like, I know why she doesn't have it, like, logically from the whole background of stuff. But I was just annoyed that she only got that from Hawk. That she was like, oh, I want like to get out of this purity culture and have fun for the first time, but the only way I can do it is by having a man validate how hot and sexy I am. And I was like, what about like tennis or something? Like, go play a sport or like go have a good have a shot. Like, girl, like you can drink alcohol. You can do like whatever you want. It's fine. And like it just seemed like the only thing was like, wait a minute, I think I'm gonna throw away everything about my life because the dick's just that good.
It must have been, because that's the only thing.
Definitely was, according to Poppy.
Apparently. Also,
yes.
So like, you know how the Duke like just beats her up all the time, and then she starts to find out like there's a possibility that he's like evil, and she like her brain she's like, well, he does beat me up, but like he can't be that bad. And I'm like, we literally
it's called it's trauma.
It's literally trauma plus grooming. Like I definitely didn't go through anything similar to Poppy, but I grew up in a very sheltered church and I was taught a lot of things. And then when I became an adult, I was like, wait, so I'm not immediately going to hell. This is interesting. And like, it took me a lot to process it and be like, you know, this guy who really told me that I couldn't wear anything that he could see my underwear lines, this 50-year-old man told me that I couldn't do that, then, you know, like, that's fine. Like, that he's just not that bad. Like, he's not that bad. And it's just like, sometimes you take a minute to realize that you have actually been through something traumatic. And I've definitely not been in anything like Poppy's been in, because that's not a thing, I hope. But yeah, trauma is it's hard when you've been through a lot of shit and then it all comes out and you're like, wait a second. What?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but I also think it's an interesting choice for JLA to choose to have like Poppy not just be sheltered of like you're not allowed to do XYZ, but also like if you even breathe near another human, I'm allowed to just beat you within an inch of your life. Where it's like, I don't see how that, like, I know she's wearing a veil, but if you're bleeding, people can see through the white. Like, I don't see why that was like fine for him to do.
No, I
obviously
don't
like
think it's fine for him to do.
no, yeah, I mean, like, obviously it was like he's a bad guy and it was a bad thing to happen, but I also just, I guess from like a narrative perspective, I obviously never enjoy seeing like a character put into a position like that, but it just kind of seems like something to like antagonize the Duke as like he is definitely a bad person because he like whips her and like nobody says anything about it until Hawk comes along and it's like, wait, actually beating people up is like bad. And she's like, what? No, he like does this like every day. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go put a stake through his head now. See you later.
Yeah.
But like,
See you later.
I mean, like trauma-wise, like I totally get what you're saying, but I feel like it would have made more narrative sense for her character to have also like experienced something where she was like, oh, I think as I'm realizing this about myself that I'm not supposed to, necessarily be this sheltered, quiet girl who follows all the rules, that maybe not just in becoming like sexually free, but also the things that happen to me are not okay. And that it's like part of that internal monologue I think could have happened along the way to build a relationship with the reader with Poppy, and instead we just see more like kind of like surface level thoughts of like, this is what's happening in the scene right now. And I think that might just be the way that JLA writes stuff, but I would have appreciated more if we're going with like the whole background from Poppy from where she was at the beginning of the book to now, to see more of like introspective thoughts. I know that I'm more of like a literary person than like the strict like fantasy romance girly. There's definitely tropes about it that I enjoy, and again, I think like when it's like the tropes of like the bodyguard and the princess and like there's banter and it's cute and whatever, like I could easily rate that thing 5 stars because I just have a good time. But when it comes to like some of those things of like, I'm also going to heal your trauma by having sex with you, then I'm like, no, I mean, you're gonna have to have a really good internal monologue of like, I truly trust this person, and it's not just like fucking to get through it, to get through the day. You know what I mean? Like, I'm expecting a little more.
I get that. I think that honestly is the way that JLA writes. She is very surface level with her books. I've read many of her books now, and she definitely doesn't go deeper. Like, she'll touch on like hard subjects, but she won't touch on them. Like, she'll just kind of breeze by them. And because I mean, Poppy obviously had a lot of trauma, but there was no discussion about it. There was nothing for Poppy to be like, hold on, this is not great. I've been treated like garbage. But that like, it just stems to the way that she writes, which is very surface level, which is really weird because the book was so long. But like, she definitely doesn't have a tendency to dive into anything, which I have definitely found in her books. But that doesn't usually bother me too much. I think that's why I like her so much, because her writing is very like, it's so easy to just read and then forget about. Like, it's so easy to just like read it and then be done with it. I've read so many of her books in so little time because of how easy it is for me to comprehend her writing, because she doesn't really go that deep. So I think
you can say that again.
She definitely should have addressed that though. Like, I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about the vampire wolf thing going on? Like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
You mean the vampire and the wolven?
Creative.
Because Taylor was like, if I just move these letters around, it's fine. I made a whole new species.
So
look at you go.
I will say that it was giving me. It wasn't giving me anything, actually. Kieran the Wolven, that's talked about in book 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I don't remember.
We know that he is.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
That's all I
yeah.
care about.
Oh wait,
He's
yes
my
it is. Yeah. In the beginning.
Yeah,
He's my favorite entire person. I love him with my whole heart and soul. I would die for Kieran. It's just to be expected. I'm obsessed with him. But yeah, I don't really know how to describe the Wolven and the Vampire without giving things away from book 2 and book 3, because that's where you really kind of get into how they are formed, how they are made. And I also still don't fully understand vampires. Like I or Wolven.
I don't think JLA does either. It's fine.
I also don't fully understand the Craven, so I guess we're here.
We don't.
Okay, wait.
Oh,
Can we
those were
talk
the
about
things.
these?
Yeah.
Not to be
That's what it was.
not to be Michael from The Office, but can you explain this to me like I'm 5? Because I literally can't remember what the difference between, like, what is a Craven? What is that?
Those
So
were like the things that were attacking them.
they were like the zombie things, essentially.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They
I
would,
vaguely
like-
remember that chapter.
It's coming back to me. There's like the woods. Isn't there woods that are bad? Or did I make the woods up?
The bloodwood.
And then there's like a mist or something.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because I was like, oh, this is just like Frozen too.
Stop!
I wish it was.
Not Frozen too.
That is so funny. Oh my god.
Yeah, there were like 4 distinct moments. Not that I can remember all of them now, but there were 4 moments where I was like, huh, this is just like that thing. I wonder if JLA just like watched that movie and was like, oh, this is
like,
good. All right, I'm gonna
Honestly, probably
like
did.
mist in the woods, can't go in, magical barrier, and I was like, this is literally the same thing. This is literally the premise of Frozen 2. Okay.
Can't go in.
Perfect.
Wait, though, like Loki kind of is though, because now I'm thinking about books 2 and 3, and it's actually like
It's actually Frozen 2.
it's actually
It's literally we found it. It's self-insert fan fiction of Frozen 2. That's what it is.
Wait a sec.
We've cracked it.
If Frozen
Why?
2 were a fantasy romance, it would be this.
Oh no.
Oh my god. That is crazy.
This was just missing some musical numbers.
Yes.
Oh,
The
well.
talking snowman.
Yeah.
But we
Okay,
did have the
so-
Wolvens. They were talking dogs. So like I mean they couldn't talk while they were dogs.
Well,
but-
wait. So,
Yeah.
like, are they werewolves? Do
Yes.
they turn into wolves at
Yeah.
midnight? Okay, so what I got from the beginning, again, was kind of speeding through this, so forgive me, because this was like a month ago, but I remember it being like, you get the sickness, and your eyes change, and then within a certain period of time, like, pretty quickly, you will turn into a werewolf and kill people, so they're like, you have to kill those people before that happens.
I don't even
Yes.
remember.
Isn't that the Craven?
Yeah, I
No,
think
that's
Happens to, and then the werewolf they're completely different. I think.
I'm pretty sure that's the
okay.
Craven.
yeah.
I think the
Okay,
Wolven
because I
were
was gonna say like, how
Like-
can Kieran be Wolfen if that happened at the beginning? Okay, that makes sense.
No,
then,
they're.
but
I
with
think they're
Craven.
Yeah.
Okay, now I
Yeah,
get.
and
Okay.
the Craven are like it's very confusing. Like I was like, man, I can really like give you guys a really great summary, and then I was like thinking of how to say it, and I was like, I don't know. Like I know bare bones, and this is how I remembered. Like the Wolven were like werewolves, the vampires were vampires, and the Craven were zombies to me, and that's how I remembered it. And we do get into more history and more background of those in like the second and third book, but I think it should have been included in the first book so that we kind of understood who these characters were and what they are and how they became who they are.
And what was going on, and then
What was going on? Yeah, no, I agree with that because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, how did any of these things happen?
Well, and that's what I was kind of saying earlier. Like, I feel like she like over-explained a bunch of other things, but like this type of stuff that was actually like relevant, like we got like no explanation.
I
It's-
knew
we
I
just
was
kind of
gonna
had to figure it out.
this book was literally like, you know, the sound that's like haboobadagooshnu, and like that's literally me reading this book because I was like, what do these words mean?
Literally stop.
Like you're just saying words, and I don't understand what you're telling me.
No, Manda, it wasn't good, hun. No. Sorry. It was fine. It was like it was a good book, but it didn't do anything for the series. I don't think it added a lot of things that are going to play into the 4th, 5th, and 6th book. Because
4th, 5th, and 6th book?
Yep, it's going to be a 6-book series.
How?
Plus the spin-off, which is about the history of the maiden. Which
I'd rather die.
3 or 4.
If someone like held me at gunpoint, I still wouldn't read that.
Yeah.
Is the one that like somewhat recently came out?
Yes, it came out in May, I think it was. April or May. It's the War of Two Queens, I think it was. Yeah, that's the 4th one.
But wasn't there a prequel? I don't know.
Yeah, and that one came out last year, and that one you're supposed to technically read in between the 3rd and the 4th so that you get history for the 4th book, because the 3rd book, there's like a really, what are you eating? Sorry. One second.
I'm not eating anything.
One second. I'll be right back.
Okay, so
all right, Darren, just let loose now while Sasha's gone.
I feel like there's more I wanted to say.
I just want to have a sit-down conversation with JLA and be like, how have you written so many books and not learned anything about writing? Just let me know. Just let me know. Just tell me.
Let her know.
Just let me know. I just want to know.
Have the
just let me know.
Well, yeah, like like Elisa said, the ellipses. Too many.
Get them out. Stop using them.
There were so many.
So many. It's like, oh my
you had
god.
enough ellipses to feed an ocean, I assume. I did not see any of them as an audiobook listener.
Well, yeah.
No,
every
time
they would pause.
Yeah, every time there was a pause, every time Poppy repeated herself, which was all the time.
A lot. Yeah,
a lot. Like, you could have cut the book in. It could have been like 100 pages if Poppy didn't repeat herself so much.
Why?
Like,
I told you guys I would crumble because all of you have valid points, and I'm like, oh shoot, like those are valid.
Oh shoot.
Oh shoot. Like, so many sentences, like, I would be listening to the audiobook and I had to just keep pausing because I was like, what did she just say? Like, what does that mean? I don't know. She does not know how to construct a sentence, because I was like, that's not grammatically correct. That doesn't make any sense. Nope.
Yeah.
You got you gotta get to the point where you just let it go. Just put it in your brain and then take it out. Put it in your brain and take it out immediately. Don't think about it. Just let it go through your ears. Process the general thought of the whole book, but do not think of sentence structure. Don't worry about it. It's a fantasy romance in the realm of
do that.
self-insert fan fiction. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
I can also do that. Like, I can just like I knew what to expect going into this book, and like I've read the ACOTAR series. Like, I know that gets compared. Like, I know what to expect going into that. Like, but it just wasn't even like, for me, it wasn't even like fun to just be like, this is a mindless, like, let's just have a good like, I couldn't even have a good time. Like, it was just not.
I just kept getting so angry. I was so angry the whole time. Every time I had to listen to this book, I just got this rage inside me, and I felt so angry because I was like, why? I just wanted to know why. Why?
Why?
I just thought it was really funny that throughout the book, like, so for me, like, the things that could save a book like this would be like excellent sex scenes, which we didn't even really get. Okay. My problem with it was that, like, that's just not how sex works. It's just not. Okay. So I mean, he was like, just touch me anywhere, you can't do it wrong, and she would like touch his face and he would come. What are you doing? Like, she would like touch his nose. She could like play fucking patty cake with him and he would come. And he was like, Poppy, this is real. Don't forget this is real. And I was like, you're horny. That's what's real, is you're really horny. That is the end of the story. That's all what the sex scenes are. And like, every time I was like, okay, this is pretty good, he'd be like, oh, you taste like honey. And I was like, okay, that could be sexy. And then he was like, honey do. And I was like, no, I'm allergic to that. That's not cute. No, stop. Okay. And then he would just keep being like, I respect you. And I was like, stop it. Stop it. Stop doing that. No.
He brings it up so much. Like, he brings up honeydew so much, and it doesn't stop in book 1.
Of
Like,
all the fruit, though, like of all the fruit,
it's the most bland and boring fruit.
Like, I
Seriously,
know,
it's even a compliment. Like, I don't understand.
Literally, I'm like, what about a strawberry?
yeah,
I feel like a strawberry would be so much better.
A honeydew is just the most boring freaking like fruit that barely tastes like anything.
yeah. I know no one here watches BoJack Horseman, but there's a running joke in the whole show about how bad honeydew is, and that's just like everything. Every time he mentioned honeydew, ew, Manda. No. Every time he mentioned honeydew, that's all I could think about, because I was like, why? Like, why honeydew? Honeydew of all the fruit. Like, if you're gonna mention a fruit, if you're gonna mention, okay. But also,
I think it would have added more depth to Hawk's character if he changed it up. So every time they had sex, he picked a different fruit. So it would show like he's a learned man. He's well-rounded. He knows what a dragon fruit is. Like, he would have something. But it was just the same thing over and over and over again.
It's also the fact that he basically like has to manipulate her to have sex with him, and how when Manda.
Amanda, come on the show and defend yourself.
I'm really trying to defend us, Amanda. I'm really trying.
But okay, yes.
I'm trying to be the most neutral party here. It's very hard.
No, because first of all, the first time they meet, she basically asks him to leave, like, I don't know how many times, 5. She asked him to get off her, and he's like, but I like it here. Also, he starts calling her princess because he thinks she's bossy, and then she says like a million times to stop calling her that, and he's like, no. And then there's the point where like Poppy asks him to stay in the room with him, and he's like, if you ask me to stay in this room, then I won't be able to help myself, and I have to take your clothes off and have sex with you. And I'm like, that makes you want to have sex with him right there, Poppy, as a guy who says that? I don't think so. Then he has sex with her like a couple times, I don't remember, and takes her virginity, which to her like is something important to her, and then immediately after finds out that he's evil, and then she like stabs him, and then they just have sex.
No, that was the best part.
Kill him.
That was the best part. She found out he was evil, stabbed him. He like bit her in the neck, and then they had sex like 4 times. Like, I don't understand.
I was listening to this and I thought I like had skipped a chunk, because I was like, how did we go from her stabbing him to them having sex within like 5 minutes of the audiobook? How did we do that?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, that is a true statement.
And also, like, he keeps saying like after she finds out he's evil, he keeps saying like, oh, you shouldn't have sex with me because like you're gonna regret it. But then he's like, well, anyways, let's just do it anyways. And like, oh my god, I just don't understand how like she finds out he's evil and spent this whole book.
Okay, and not just like
the whole
no. Listen, wait, I'm agreeing with you. Listen,
Get away from the camera.
It's not just like, oh, he's like kind of a bad boy. It's like he literally killed everybody she's ever loved in her life except for like Tawny.
And she literally
get back
says
to.
that.
But like she's literally like, you literally killed my father figure and like everybody I've ever known.
Plus,
but you're really hot. So
plus the dark one is who she thought was responsible for killing her parents as well. So that was a big thing. So like he was responsible for killing her parents, her second father figure, and then she was like,
yeah,
like, what?
Yeah.
So hot.
But
Yes.
I
Yeah.
I liked that part. I don't know why. Like objectively,
Which
I don't know.
The part where she stabs him and then
they have sex. Like I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I don't know. It was fun for me to be a part of and watch, I guess. Just like this is great. But
okay,
like I said, I'm crumbling, and I really needed Manda here.
No, I mean, listen. Again, like nobody's condoning this in real life. Like if someone straight up killed my family, I would not sleep with them. Okay, but you're literally reading like let's be honest, it's a fan fiction. You're reading something that's like ridiculous and fun and fictional. So there's plenty of things that like you don't condone in real life, but they're fun to read about. So it's fine. Like nobody's saying that this is what anybody actually believes in real life. And when it's like, ooh, like now you're like, it's truly like an enemies to lovers thing of like you're on opposite sides of this. I don't know if it's a war or whatever, but like, you know, and you're still like attracted to this like literally evil guy. But my problem is not that. My problem is the morals of this man just being like, I'm evil, but I still think you're the best person alive just because I've ever looked in your direction once. So forget that.
So true. So true. Yeah, as an asexual person, also take my opinion with a grain of salt. Because I can't imagine stabbing someone and then having sex with him, but you know.
I don't think anybody like who has like a stable mentality can picture that, but I was trying.
You're like, but I could.
Here I am.
At that point, I was just like, okay, because that's like kind of towards the end of the book. I was just like, all right, let's just.
But that's when I was like, this.
Wrap it up, kids. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
No, that's what made me want to pick up the second book. I was like, oh my god, I'm having so much fun.
No. Also, I want like okay. I have a question. Did you guys figure out that Hawk was evil before the reveal?
Literally, like chapter 1.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay, because so did I. I hope so did everyone who reads this book, because I feel like JLA wrote it in a way. I will call you Manda.
I will call you.
Like JLA, I think she really thought she did something with that reveal. Like she was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna be quaking in their boots. Like they're never gonna see this coming." When she left so many freaking hints, and like literally, there was one point where Poppy was talking to like the two other girls, and they were talking about the Dark One, and then literally out of nowhere, they started talking about Hawk, and they were like, some say that the Dark One just came to the kingdom, whatever. And then they started talking about Hawk, and guess what? Hawk just came to the kingdom. So I was like, oh, he's gonna be the Dark One. Because like,
no, it was. I will give JLA credit for her other two reveal, like the end reveal for book 2 and book 3 were great. They were really good. The end reveal for 1 was not good. I got it, and I don't get anything. When I'm reading, I'm very dense.
Hawk showed up, and then they started talking about the Dark One. I was like, okay. there wasn't even enough time for her to give us hints. I was just like, they're the same.
I just remembered another part when they're like in the woods or whatever, and it's super dark, but Hawk can see her, and she's like, wow, he has really great eyesight. And I was like,
oh my god. For me, it was like I totally forgot like that there was like magic stuff in this book for the longest time, because I was just like, oh, it's like a bodyguard, and then like I guess she's a magic assassin, and other than the fact that she can like feel people's things just like Six of Crows, I guess that she can like feel people's emotions, and that's like the extent of the magic here. I forgot what this book was about for a period of time, and then near the end I was like, so they're evil, right? Like, they're gonna be bad guys, right? And then the whole crew was like, we were actually bad guys all along. And I was like, all right, okay, gotcha. All right, okay. Gotcha. All right. And it was like, actually, my name's not Hawk. And I was like, what? Okay. And then he gave his like actual name reveal, and I was like, oh, okay. It's like, oh, okay.
Which was also a very close name to somebody in the ACOTAR series. So I had just finished reading the ACOTAR series, and I was like, hold on. Who are these people? Like, why is everybody connecting? And I was just like,
And then there was a period of time, like somewhere in the book, where she was like, have you ever been in love? And he was like, yes, a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, why did he say that? He's like 2 years older than me. He's so dramatic. And then at the end, it was like, actually, he's a vampire. And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Oh, I forgot there were vampires in this book. Oh, from blood and okay.
Yeah.
I forgot what this book was about.
Together.
I disagree with Manda in saying that the second book has the best ending. I think the third book has the best ending because it doesn't leave you on a place where you have to read.
I was gonna say that.
What? Is it ended?
It's over.
I was gonna say Because it doesn't leave you on a place where you have to read the next one like immediately, or else you're going to throw up and like crap your pants because you don't know what's going on. That's what the second book does, because you're just like, oh my god, what the hell. But the third book, it ends in such a nice, like, could be the end of the trilogy, could not be the end of the trilogy kind of way, where you can just take a step back. But the second book was just like, no, you literally have to start immediately.
Can you just tell us what it is?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
spoilers alert for people.
I will not say the third book ending because I don't think Manda's finished it yet. But the second book ending essentially. Spoilers. Let's just do something really quick. Create a banner. Spoilers.
Spoilers for book 2.
Add banner. Show. So, spoilers. She finds out that she has the blood of a god in her body.
Where'd she get that?
Because she was descended from a god, essentially. So she finds out that all of the reasons that she has like such great fighting abilities and like all of these other little magical things, she finds out that she is a descendant of the deity, and therefore the true and rightful
ruler of the land,
ruler of Atlantia, which was where
so she really was a princess.
Yes.
Wow.
But actually queen.
Daryan's face.
Technically like a queen, because yeah. So like Hawk's family. It's coming back to me.
I can see it now that Hawk was like, oh, you were a princess all along.
Oh,
I knew it all along.
Stop. Why did he actually say that? Vampires were made using the blood of Atlanteans.
Okay.
Blood of ash. But yeah, anyway, so they get to Atlantia, and Hawk's mom, who's the literal queen, is like, oh my god. And she takes off her crown and she's like, this is the actual queen of Atlantia. And then the book ends. And it's like, what? So then you're just like shitting yourself.
You're
like,
really about to give up your crown to this like pick-me girl who just gets like actually I'm descended from a god actually. So that keeps mine.
They started the third book and the husband was like, okay, calm down. Just take a step back.
You snatch it back. No.
Like he was like, as much as my wife was overexcited.
Oh my god, maybe she wanted to leave like her own marriage, or she was like, enough, I'm tired of royal life. You
like,
can be queen now. Bye.
No, that's literally, she was just like, oh my god, the rightful heir is here. Here's your crown. And freaking Poppy was like, what? And then Hawk was like, oh my god. And then the king was like, no, put your crown back on, like literally calm down. And then and that's that. And it was a big thing. And yeah.
And then Hawk dies. She says,
I'll read that.
No.
Yeah, if he died, I would read it.
He's not dead as of where I'm at, but that could be. I mean, there's like 3 other books.
Isn't this literally still Frozen 2? Because in like spoilers for Frozen 2, like there's
it's fine.
There's the spoilers for anything goes, any type of spoiler at all. In Frozen 2, Elsa goes out into the woods and like I assume they go in the woods, and finds out that she has this magical power because of, I mean, like she's basically a god, right? Like she could just do whatever she wants with ice power. Like she gets to like see into the past. I can't go to a Frozen 2 rant right now, but like basically it's all that. Then she's also like, I'm actually a person of color. And then she like takes over the land of the, like, because her mom was also an indigenous person.
Yeah.
that whole thing happened, where like her mom was so then she goes and lives with them and is like their queen, but not really, but like she goes and like lives with them.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a while since I've seen that. I
saw Frozen 2 once.
yeah, wow.
Once is enough. Once is enough.
You're right.
I liked it.
I liked it, but now that I'm like thinking about it, I think I need to watch it again to actually like formulate. I think the nostalgia for me is what hit me. I was like, they're back. Oh my god, my friends.
I like the songs in Frozen too.
Yeah, the songs are good.
The songs are really good.
Anyways.
Spoilers thing.
Okay.
But is it not literally the same thing?
Someone needs to tweet a picture of From Blood and Ash and the Frozen 2 poster and send people.
I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now.
The same picture.
Rachel's like, hold on.
Someone make the meme.
Do it, Rachel.
I'm doing it right now.
This is why I pick books like this, because this was so fun.
Yeah.
But like, I definitely.
Well, should it be From Blood and Ash or should it be the second book?
From Blood and Ash. To represent,
because that will encompass the whole series.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's their like at the end of From Blood and Ash, they're starting. They're looking at starting that journey to Atlantia. So
wow.
Atlantia. What a great creative name.
No, but then they spent the entirety of book 2, which was 600 plus pages, traveling, and I was like, it's get there, like.
Wait,
arrive.
Also, like, quick question: weren't they like, wasn't the main like beginning of the story? Didn't that take place in like Macedonia or something?
Yeah.
Macedonia. That's like a real place.
I think there was like Carcedonia as well as like
a great name. Oh, also we didn't talk about, and this is something, well, Lisa told me this, but I think Lisa heard this from Hannah from Clockwork Reader, who heard it from someone else. But anyways, the fact that the 2 people of color, their names are basically just brown and dark.
Yeah.
Because Tawny
is like orangey brown color.
Yeah, Tawny
Kieran like translates to the
Kieran.
dark one. It's like,
does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So JLA was like synonyms
and brown. Like Tawny is a maid, which was another thing. Poppy was like, she's not a maid, she's my lady's maid. It's like, girl. Same thing.
I did not know that either of those words were.
I didn't really either until I think I'll see if I can find the TikTok.
I don't love that.
Yeah, it's not good.
I'm not super like a big fan of that.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Hannah's video where she reads it, I highly recommend it.
I could not watch it. I was like, listen, I need to figure out my own opinions, because if I watch,
I need to live my truth.
If I watch anybody's videos or if I read anybody's reviews of like people who I trust their like opinions and stuff, my rating will change, because I'll be like, oh, you've brought up a great point that I didn't think of, because my brain turns off when I read this book. And so
that's fine. You don't have to change your rating for anybody.
Well, no, and that's the thing. I'm not going to, but I definitely I think more critically after I read other people's reviews, after I watch other people's videos about books. I think about it more critically, but my ratings reflect not only the book, but my enjoyment while reading the book. So I'm definitely not going to change my rating. It just makes me think about things. And sometimes I don't like thinking.
So true.
You know.
Also, I just want to make it clear that I hopefully didn't make it sound like I'm judging you for liking the book.
Because, oh my god, no.
Okay,
no.
good. Because
people have different tastes. I would never it's not my favorite book, but even if it was my favorite book of all time and you were like, this is literally the worst book I've ever read, I'd be like, that is 100% your opinion. Like,
okay.
I will.
You're like, if you're wrong, but it is your opinion.
I will never get upset about people who don't like books I like. That's
because I know I get heated about this book, but
no, but it's funny as hell. Like, it's actually hilarious.
Okay, good.
Because it's nice to have people who disagree. Because that's what makes it an entertaining and also like a pretty educational live show. Because like if it was just me and Manda, we would have 0 critical points about this book at all. We would just be like, Hawk is so great. Oh my god. Like, But we have 3 people who didn't like the book. So now it's just like we have 2 people who loved it, and then we have 3 people that didn't. So we have some balance. And I think that's awesome.
I'm trying real hard to be on your side, Sasha, with this whole discussion because I want it to be fair.
I easily crumble. It's fine. I accept my fate. I still loved it when I read it.
I'm trying not to make this like a 3v1 Mario Party thing where like 3 people team up and that one person's just like on the wall, like trying not to avoid the bombs or whatever.
Guys, I'm trying
to help you out.
One of them is on Bill.
No, like definitely like share your feelings. Like I did not hold back with Secret History. Like
I know.
Do not hold back with this. Like we just have different tastes, and that's totally fine.
The only book that I don't accept good thoughts on is Conviction. So
literally, anybody who has that just cannot be like a reader. No, I saw that in the bookstore, and I was like, oh my god. And then my father-in-law took my copy of Conviction. Like he looked through my books that I was getting rid of. He was like, this looks good, and I was like,
it's not.
Okay, have fun.
Truly awful.
But yeah, no hard feelings. I thought it was hilarious. Your vlog was hilarious. You were listening to like the scenes. That was truly comical. It's good. Yeah, no. So absolutely no hard feelings. I think it's hilarious.
Okay, good.
Okay, it's tweeted.
Oh. I'm so excited. I have to go look immediately.
Let me see this.
It's from the Whiners account.
Oh my god. So true.
Stunning.
Okay, wait. I need to put this on Instagram.
Save the picture.
So good.
Oh my god.
That's so funny. Wow. We really did the math there.
Why can't I? Okay, there.
Rachel, why are you just like so good at finding the exact meme format that needs to happen?
That's the one superpower that I have over Poppy, is that I got that going for me.
Can she make a meme? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Literally could not read. Or no, that was Farrah.
That was Farrah.
So good.
I mean, it's fair. You read them back to back, right?
I did.
Yeah.
No, Poppy could read because she had that smut book that she kept carrying around.
Yeah,
and Pock was like, ooh, you're reading smut? Ooh, romance.
They bring that up in the 3rd book. They still bring up Lila's diary in the 3rd book. They're like, remember that?
Oh, I forgot about that.
And I was like, can you get
oh my god.
it?
Like, just like cancel him now. Hawk is shaming her for still reading the same one book over the course of 3 books. Everybody handles their TBR at their own pace. It's okay.
There's a whole
Poppy.
thing with that though. Like there's like a whole
there?
thing.
Do they reenact the whole book?
No. Should I?
Yes. Spoilers. Throw back on. Tell us.
Okay.
It's like the mad typing.
Spoilers
not for Frozen.
Spoilers not for Frozen.
Hawk was like, oh my god, I think that Willa could be an Atlantean because
Who?
Wilhelmina, Willa, the girl in the
wrote that book.
Yeah, the one who wrote the diary. He was like, I think she's an Atlantean because she really enjoyed getting her vagina bit by a vampire. And
that is a harmful stereotype, Hawk. Okay, not every Atlantean likes having
their get to Atlantia, and she's one of the elders. And Hawk was like, I guess we're gonna have some questions for you later. And Poppy's like, shut up, it's fine, it's not a big deal. Like it's a whole thing. But yeah, apparently that's a thing, like where you can have like a little like pleasure bite in an area, and
oh man.
Is this pleasure bite related to the pleasure bites or whatever that was? Did she get bit or did she drink blood or what was it that made Poppy like basically instantly masturbate? Like what was that?
She didn't.
Yes.
She drank his blood or something.
She
Yeah.
drank his, and then when he drank from her, that also happened. But I don't know if it was in the first or the second book.
Why are these vampires so horny?
Oh my god, was it? No, it must have been in the second book. Oh my god,
You could just tell us though.
Kieran got a whole show. So like, Kieran got a show. So something happened, like this whole situation happened, and oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. So this whole thing, this big situation freaking happened, and then Poppy wakes up, she's super 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 hungry, and she's like, I need blood right now. And so she feeds from Hawk, and Kieran is there like making sure that, you know, she doesn't feed too much. Anyways, he ends up pulling, not Kieran, Hawk ends up pulling his penis out, and she just gets right on it, and Kieran's there, and he's just like, hi guys. And Hawk and her
Wait,
were like,
for
sorry.
blood? For blood or for sex?
So she started feeding like blood from Kieran, and then it turned her on so much, and it turned him on so much that they just pulled out their parts and smushed them together.
Kieran?
No, Kieran was sitting in the corner being like,
oh,
hello?
Okay.
So
Wow.
like, he had to watch them.
Why did Kieran have nothing else going on his schedule for the day? Like, why was he like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do?
No, and then
there's more.
No, and then they were all at this bonfire, and then there was like an orgy, but it wasn't like, so like Poppy watched Kieran and this girl like get it on, and she was like, ooh, and so Hawk threw her into the woods, and then they got it on.
He threw her into the woods. Like,
get in there.
Go over there.
So that was the thing.
Oh my god.
So crazy. Like thinking about it and saying it out loud, I'm like, wow.
I'm so glad I'm not reading these books.
Did y'all realize that their ship name is literally Hockey?
Well, Hawk's not his real name, so.
Oh, sorry, Dark 1E. Like, what do you want?
Wasn't his name like Castile or something?
Yeah.
Cassie? Or Pastille? I don't know.
Copy? I don't know.
Castopi? Castopi?
That's like some
Isn't
Italian.
that guy in Supernatural? Who is that?
Castopi.
Castile.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
Castile.
Well, it's because it like doesn't. Hold on. I don't want to say something before I like.
Castile means like angel or something, though, right? Or it's like that's what his character is, I think.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, I do feel like it is something.
He gets angel and Kieran gets dark. Because that's the color of
so
his.
Messed up.
Yeah.
Castile.
She was like, ooh, Castile, that means angel. And then she's like, what should I name this other character?
Why did you do this?
Because she's excited. And she's like, well, he has dark skin. And then she Googled synonyms for dark. And it's like, perfect, no one will ever know.
And then she did it twice.
Yeah, and then she's like,
and let's make her a maid while I'm at it.
I definitely didn't know Kieran, but I did catch Tawny where I was like, that's an adjective.
Yeah, no, I didn't catch that.
That was definitely a weird
I wouldn't
choice.
have known about Kieran if Lisa hadn't told me from watching Hannah's video and Hannah found out from someone.
Yeah.
I would not have caught Kieran. I do have to wrap up this live show because I do have to go get Noah from work.
Oh, that is fine.
But this has been swell and fun. If anybody has any further questions on the second or third book, I am here all night. And
except you're leaving.
For the next 30 minutes.
I'll be holding office hours if you want to.
And I'll be back.
And I'll be holding office hours about what I really think about Frozen 2 for the rest of my life.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming. Thanks everybody who watched. Yeah. What's next month?
Yeah. Book of Night.
Book of Night.
Yeah.
This is on Manda's channel. She's not here, but please go subscribe to everybody in the description. I've started it. It is a book. And can't wait to talk about it with you all.
And also the month after that for July, we're doing Daryan's read, which is, I mean, like we're kind of like 1 month behind, so we're doing our Book of Night live show soon, but our July book is Blood Scion, which is going to be on Daryan's channel.
Yay!
So read it with us.
Very excited. It is at my library. Life is good.
Like,
yeah.
I have the arc, which I haven't read yet. It's fine.
Fair enough.
I never read my arcs. We know this.
Don't tell the internet that.
I mean,
I always read my arcs.
I read them. Hello, fellow publishers.
I do not think a publisher is going to be watching this and be like,
like,
who do I have as an arc reviewer?
Yeah. They're like, what are the Whiners up to now?
I would love for a publisher to watch this whole video and to only get out of this like, Daryan doesn't read her arcs. That's the one thing they get out of this whole show.
Okay, I'm actually ending this. Goodbye, good luck, love you all.